Hello everyone, my name is Sam and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to cover some of the mistakes that I made when I first got started selling on Amazon. But before I get started, I want to give a big thank you to those who've subscribed to my channel and for just being here and watching my videos and supporting me. And if you are new to the channel, do consider hitting that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you get all my most recent videos. With that being said, let's get into it. One of the biggest mistakes that I made when I first got started was not really knowing how to track my costs and expenses. So, as you may or may not know, when you first get started, there's a bunch of different software that you will need to kind of help you expedite the process of both getting your product onto Amazon and kind of launching your early review program and whatnot. And when I first got started, I wasn't really keeping track of what subscriptions I had, where my money was going, and what I was spending on and what I wasn't spending on. And I came to learn that after a few months, a lot of my money was going towards subscriptions that I wasn't using anymore. And this really did cut into my profit at the end of the day. And so what I did was the second time around, basically, I would use these subscriptions when I needed it. So, for example, when I was doing my product research phase, I would use Jungle Scout just to, get some ideas on products I might want to sell, maybe some, good products that, would fit well with my brand and whatnot. And once I decided or kind of had a clue on what I wanted to sell, or maybe I found that product that I wanted to actually, move with, then I would actually cancel my subscription and just not pay that recurring fee until later on when I wanted to reuse that service. And so what I recommend is when you're getting started is to try to be on top of what subscriptions and what fees you're paying. That way you don't keep paying these when you're not using these softwares or services. And also, just create an Excel sheet or something where you kind of jot down where, what services you have, what software you're using, how much you spent on, let's say, photography, um, shipping, all of this, all the costs, guys, you should be keeping a track of all of that. So at the end of the day, you can kind of add them all up and see exactly how much you spent and see how much you make and see if it's, worthwhile to continue with this product or even just selling on Amazon. So the second mistake that I made, and to me personally, this was the most costly mistake, is not knowing how to properly manage my advertising campaigns on Amazon. So for those of you who aren't familiar with how Amazon runs the advertising campaigns, there's basically two different methods. So you have automatic campaigns and manual campaigns. Automatic campaigns are basically where Amazon will rank you based on keywords that it finds relatable to your product. So if you're selling sports gears, any keywords that is related to that product that is in the category of sports gears will get ranked for those keywords on Amazon. Whereas a manual campaign is where you get to choose the keywords that are related to your product and run ads based on those keywords. So if you're selling, say, basketball shoes, then you would run a campaign for the keyword basketball shoes, and you would pay for every click that you get on that ad for that keyword. And so when I got started, I knew how the advertising campaigns worked, and I knew what I had to do, but you know for the sake of being a beginner, I just wanted to get my product out there and get as many impressions and as many views and as many clicks as possible to kind of convert those clicks into sales, not knowing that, a lot of the keywords I was running campaigns for weren't, converting for me or weren't profitable keywords. Rather, they were costing me a lot of money. The first campaign I ran was for just two keywords related to my product, and that single campaign cost me $300 and it made me two sales. And so, $30 in sales versus $300 in advertising expense really doesn't add up. And, you want to make sure you're finding the most profitable and efficient way to run campaigns on Amazon. Sometimes, you have no choice but to run it, especially when you get started. But when you do, just make sure you run one at a time or maybe two at a time and not try to like get as many keywords as possible and try to and run ads for those keywords. The third mistake that I made was that I ran out of stock. So how this happened was, my first time selling, I was after a month or so, I started, seeing an increase in sales per month, going from like, 50 to 60 sales in a month to about 70 to 80 sales in a month. And so I wasn't, aware of like at what point in my inventory I needed to place my second order to be able to get it into Amazon and avoid running out of stock. Basically, I waited to have enough money to be able to reorder again based off the profits that I made on my first try. And if you guys, know by now, I didn't make any money my first time selling on Amazon. I actually lost $1,000, and so I didn't have the money to be able to reorder again. And so I kept on waiting and waiting, and eventually I had about 50 units left in my inventory. And at that point, it kind of like hit me that hey, like I need to reorder again. But something I wasn't taking into consideration is the lead time from placing my order with my supplier to actually getting it into an Amazon warehouse in the United States. And for my product and with my supplier, the lead time is about 30 days. So about a month long is what it takes to get the products manufactured and into the United States. And by then, I only had 50 units left, and that wasn't enough to last me the whole entire 30 days. And so what happened was I ran out of those 50 units within 2.5 weeks. And so I was basically sitting on nothing for about a month waiting for my products to get in. And while I had nothing in my inventory, my rank on Amazon just dropped. So by well, before I ran out of stock, I was somewhere on the second on the or the bottom of the first page for some of the keywords I was ranking for. And once I ran out of my inventory, I ended up on the last page of Amazon. And so this is a huge mistake that I made is because even though it wasn't the end of the world, it really did take a long time and a lot of effort to regain that ranking back again. And what I had to do was to run more ad campaigns, more PPC campaigns, which cost me even more. So, if I could have avoided running out of stock the first time, I could have avoided paying additional expenses towards advertising and, most important, losing my ranking on Amazon. So there you have it, guys. Those are the 3 most costly mistakes that I made when I first started selling on Amazon. Hopefully you guys found this video informative and you all learned something. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Let me know. Also, leave a comment. Let me know what mistakes that you guys made when you first started selling on Amazon or just anywhere on the internet or in real life, and what you did to kind of learn from those mistakes and to find ways to avoid them later on down the road. So with that being said, guys, thanks for tuning in today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.